and in the last few months she has really been embroiled in a massive online controversy surrounding her Discord server and the alleged dangerous people inside it.
It just seems very fake and very like she doesn't actually care about her community.
But this isn't just Eugenia's word against fans' word, this is also fans' word against fans' word.
And is very, very, very contrary to what EC herself was saying in her response video, so I have no other choice but to believe that everything else she said is either half-truths or not true at all.
Why is it always gotta be the cute and innocent ones? Sup, cunts? Well, if you've been on this side of commentary for the past 2 months or so, you'll see that you've seen Eugenia all over your subscription lists for a hot minute. Now, we all know Eugenia mostly for the public's concern for her physical health. Now, if you don't know who Eugenia Cooney is, and if you don't, Jesus Christ, where the hell have you been? Eugenia Cooney is a beauty slash vlogger slash just lifestyle YouTuber in general. And she's mostly known around the internet for her eating disorder. She made headlines a while back because her friends tried to give her an intervention. They tried to 5150 her to make sure she gets help. And then Shane Dawson made a documentary about her after she came out of that 5150. And then after the documentary, all we could really do was watch her starve herself again, right live on Twitch. But today the public outcry isn't for what she did do to herself or others, it's what she didn't do for others. In July of this year, a user known as Fan uploaded to Eugenia's subreddit a long thread entitled "Eugenia has skeletons of predators in her closet." A 7-paragraph expose on 3 shitbags that ran, mentally controlled, and tortured several members of Eugenia's community within her Discord, mostly being minor girls. And as I'll discuss later, more were discovered by Kiwi Farms. Together they uncovered the seedy underbelly of Eugenia's community and brought to light the scum that get attracted, like moths to a flame, to vulnerable women. Let's discuss these scumbags now. Personally, I think Quimlaria is the most interesting and the biggest fish in this entire operation. I say operation like this was regardless. Quimlaria at the time when he was active was an admin of Eugenia's Discord server. Ladies, gentlemen, and others, this is no allegedly scenario either. This man's has exposed himself and got officially exposed for being charged and arrested for felony sexual molestation. And this is no allegedly, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is in his full form. Of course censored, because I don't want to get sued for harassment. However, here he is. This is the official document online for anyone to possibly look up. Honestly, it's not too hard to find the uncensored version either. I found it easily on Kiwi Farms, but still. And after everyone finding that out, the Reddit post claims that it took multiple people constantly tweeting at Eugenia for her to finally ban him. Now, to be fair, none of these tweets can be found today. Thanks to Tim Mimi's deep dive into this subject, those can't be found. I did a little digging myself. I couldn't find any either. So who knows if those claims are 100% true, taking that with a grain of salt. But that is the only written kind of evidence or statement, I should say, of anyone telling Eugenia that, hey, this dude's a convicted sexual fucking predator and he shouldn't be adminning a Discord with multiple young women in him, you know? Just a little fucking suggestion. And after he was banned in 2018, the mods took it upon themselves to ban anyone in the Discord who fucking talked about it. As you can see in the screenshot here, Mod 120 even admits to the cover-up, and that he even knew days fucking before it got to Eugenia's attention. He just didn't want to tell her because he didn't, quote, want to interfere with the good time she was having. Excuse me, if my mods covered up something from me that was going on in my Discord under my nose that was that fucking terrible, and it only took the users of that Discord to publicly bring it to light to me for me to find out, all of them would be fired. Absolutely gone. That is such fucking bullshit. And I think the most important thing to note out of this whole section is that Quimlaria is known to mod for other people, and that he is still active on Twitter today. So this man is possibly still an active threat to people who have underage communities. Let it be known that this man is a felon and possibly modding any servers you're in. Keep watch, kids. What am I fucking saying? I mark all my videos as not made for kids. No child is gonna see this, but either way, keep a lookout, people. It's now time for our next contestant on Wheel of Predators. Matt Carty 5. Matt Carty. Oh my goodness. This bitch. Matt Carty was never a moderator for Eugenia's accounts. However, he was in fact a very active member of the community. He also went by another name, Larry Appleton. He also went by a couple other names, which I think accumulates to 5. 5 separate accounts that he went under in this community to purposefully fuck with people. And I don't mean that in a light way, and like he's just trolling. No, he harassed people. He fucking harassed minors. He made a minor, pressured a minor into bikini pictures. Okay, I need to stop getting ahead of myself because this bitch makes me mad. He is known under that Larry Appleton account for harassing people. That is his main troll account, I presume. Specifically known on that account to harass a user named Ariel. But mostly on Matt Carty 5 is where the big pile of evidence lies. A lot of the things that I'm discussing in this video happened to a user named Fan, the one who wrote the Reddit post. Now, I noticed throughout this investigation that Fan goes by a lot of different usernames. Fan Cakes, Magic Keys, and in the screenshots that are going to be scrolling next to me in a second, she's going by Phantom of the Devil. Now, how Fan originally came into contact with Matt Carty is that he basically started to groom her. He gifted her a bunch of subs to Eugenia, he bought her a bunch of games off Steam. Apparently, I guess to her, he seemed like a pretty nice guy at first, right? Because that's how that always happens. And of course, as always, mans eventually gets creepy. Per usual. That's how that always fucking happened. Now, originally, Matt lied to Fan about his age. I couldn't find anywhere his official age, but I'm guessing somewhere mid-20s to early 30s, maybe mid-30s. That's guesstimates that I've run into around the internet. Now, in the screenshots scrolling next to me, pause if you want to read them, Matt starts getting more aggressive towards Fan, calling her things like a boner killer, not believing that she's the age that she says she is, not believing the age that she said her friend is, things like that. And eventually, he pressured her into sending bikini pictures. Did I mention that Fan was 14 at the time? Fan was 14 at the time. He pressured her into sending these bikini photos, and not only that, he sent them to a friend. Of course, Fan was outraged and then claimed to him that she was going to call the police. This, obviously, angering Matt. Eventually, he began to blackmail her, harass her, guilt trip her, and manipulate her into not doing anything. And not only that, while this whole thing was fucking going on, he's decided it was a bright idea to send dick pics and pictures of used cum rags to other minors. The sick fuck. And he refused to delete those photos. He also refused to tell his friend to delete those photos, saying it wasn't a big deal. Obviously, it is a big deal, Matt, you big fucking dickhead. Dumb bitch. That is child pornography that you sent around. I think that's 2 charges right there. Possession and distribution, my friend. 2 counts. Would you look at that? Let's keep counting. Now, Fan claims that Eugenia and other moderators knew as well at the time, but I will get to that later because that's kind of a sticky gray area in this whole event. But luckily, he was eventually banned in 2018. Alright, motherfuckers. Who's next? Now this user went by the name of Zemzo. At least that's how I think you pronounce it, because X's are tricky. Now Zemzo is an interesting case, because he actively wasn't really a predator, but more of an active threat to the people in this community. Luckily, he wasn't in any position of power. However, he was pretty active within her Discord and her Twitch chat. Zemzo is the type of guy who white knights to the fucking extreme. Zemzo has threatened to physically harm multiple people in her Twitch chat and in her Discord. Multiple claims and multiple just fucking threats. Examples being driving to people's homes, pushing them downstairs, pushing them off roofs, beating them with lead pipes, and other colorful forms of physical assault. People also claim that he has sent some sexually explicit type messages in non-18 plus channels within the Discord. So not really actively creeping on people, just publicly being kind of a creep. Now what you see here is Fan actively calling out Zemzo via bit donation in Eugenia's stream. This is the text blown up thanks to Tamimi, because the video is a bit grainy, it's hard to see the message. Eugenia, however, promptly responds to the message, quote, "He's a great person and he's always been very, very sweet on my stream. That wasn't really nice." So because someone is nice to Eugenia, they immediately have a pass to be a dickhead to everyone else, it seems. Even the mods fucking shut this claim down. Goes to show Eugenia's twisted view on the world and the excuses she makes to even her most scummiest fans. Luckily, Zemzo is no longer active in the community. However, how Eugenia reacts to that bit donation, to the claim coming to her, sure, it's not in DMs, sure, it's in a public fucking Twitch stream. Either way, not the correct response, and it's been the response for multiple people that we are discussing today. And that's the sad fucking reality about all this. But I'll discuss that more later. But before that, we have to discuss, I think, the biggest of all the scumbags. Let's take a look. Now, according to the post, Johnny Cooney is literally the worst predator that went after young women in that community. And luckily, he wasn't around while the Discord was around. He was just around during, I think, the YouNow streams and the earlier Twitch streams. He wasn't a mod on Twitch either, no, but he was prolific enough and active enough to fucking take control of these girls' psyches. Cause this man went the extra fucking mile. He decided to harass multiple people on multiple counts with friends, might I add, and threatened 2 girls to change in front of him or else. Jesus fucking Christ. According to Fan, it took her months of fighting to get him banned, with whom knows how much evidence piled against him. And like I said, he had 2 other friends named Superstar, spelt with a fucking V, and Charlie, as I've seen him announced as, I guess, help him in harassing these girls. Apparently Superstar is a little bit worse than Charlie. I think Superstar also sexually harassed some girls, and Charlie was just on the harassment. That doesn't make it any better, fucking Christ, but either way, dude had a posse. He had a team for this. Mans was dedicated to get the fucking job done for torturing multiple women. Like Christ, man. Luckily though, he was arrested and charged for possession of child pornography. And apparently, he's also a Nazi. Allegedly, I guess, a Nazi. I think the only evidence backing that is that he had swastikas in his Twitter handle, or was it bio? Something around those lines, but there were still swastikas. Either way, apparently a Nazi. So throughout us discussing these pricks, most of these events happened in around 2018, so about 2 years ago. And as Eugenia loves to say, this happened 2 years ago, guys. This shouldn't be such a big deal. Why is this such a big deal? It hasn't stopped, apparently. As of August of this year, there were still instances of predators in Eugenia's Discord, according to Eugenia's Kiwi Farms thread. Now, most of these recent findings are allegations without text proof, but a lot of the evidence that I saw against certain people were claims by members of the Discord that that person was a creep. Most notably, a user that went by the name of Gorilla Ghoul. More scrolling screenshots if you want to pause to read. Members are actively warning this one member named Moon to avoid this man at all cost. Now, I found on this thread there are 2 other users that gave off red flags. However, like I said, it's mostly allegations and just people finding creepy vibes. These 2 are obviously grown men because they have posted selfies in her selfie channel. But either way, there is no solid evidence of them being predatory in any way. But I just wanted to make note that still people are being predatory and still people are being flagged as possibly predatory within that Discord. Now, luckily, Eugenia had the bright idea to delete the Discord after all the public hubbub, all the videos, etc. So at least she made a good decision in doing that. And as you're starting to see now, I'm starting to talk about the good things that Eugenia is doing, so I'm gonna keep that ball rolling and playing devil's advocate to a couple of the things that I have seen within the arguments against Eugenia. Now, the first claim I'm gonna argue against is some people made notes in their video that there was a mod actively encouraging girls to allegedly, start having an eating disorder, something around those lines. However, when I saw the screenshots, which I couldn't find again, but if I find them, I will put them up, obviously.
So as you can see, a user by the name Sakura asks, how do I get a thigh gap? This user is 15 years old. Irish Wolfie says squats and leg raises. Sakura reiterates, I think I'm the kind of person who can't get a thigh gap. now that I'm looking at it. Irish Wolfie responds, surprising fact, everyone can get a gap. As an ex-gym instructor, I can say it's very possible. Sakura says, if I lose weight, I'm gonna have to do it anyway. Sakura says, no more fat on my body, I'm gonna need to stop eating bad foods, FML. Irish Wolfie says, there's a way to get rid of loose skin naturally. It does require dedication and patience. Roller elast, I don't even know what that is. Sakura says, I'm gonna have to do some omega fasting. And then Irish Wolfie says, Sakura, if you want advice, just DM me. Helped so many people, including my own mom, who lost nearly 10 stones in total. Like 55, 60 kg, 110 pounds.
And as far as I saw, that moderator was more encouraging her to work out and actually giving her pretty good workout routines and advice to do, while Sakura was the one saying that she needs to fast, she needs to limit her eating habits in order to get this thigh gap. And that the conversation ended with the mod telling her to DM him for diet advice. Now, of course, we don't have those DMs, but one can only hope that it was actual diet advice, like meal plans and things like that, not encouraging her to starve herself. It seemed like he also was trying to divert the subject away from fasting for her. So I don't think the claims against him are that strong when looking at the messages themselves. However, I do think it's kind of not really the right place to talk about weight loss in such a vulnerable server, such as one belonging to Eugenia. So maybe that wasn't the best conversation to start. However, it did seem like that moderator was trying to take it in a more healthier route than, yeah, no, definitely start fasting. You'll get a thigh gap soon enough. No, it did not read like that to me personally. Now, if you remember when I was talking about that whole Matt Carty thing, how Fan claims that Eugenia and the mods knew for a while before they even did anything. Now, the screenshots of those conversations between Fan and Eugenia and the mods were in fact released. And I will side with Eugenia on this. Fan didn't say any names. When she was talking about the incidents with McCarty, she didn't mention that it was McCarty. She didn't mention that it was Larry Appleton. She didn't mention any names. She just said, I'm being stalked by someone. And apparently the mod that she spoke to was Quimlaria. So obviously I don't think he was gonna do anything about it, because shit, he does the same thing apparently. Brothers in arms, am I right? Motherfucker. However, in both DM cases, they were quite vague. So really, what is there to do? If you're making a generalized claim like that and not even saying that it's happening in her community, in her server, in her Twitch chat, what is she gonna do about it? All she's gonna do is wish you luck and hope for the best. And that's gonna transition into my next topic of why didn't Eugenia press on further to try to help this fan. Now, the people who I watched who really pressed Eugenia about, you know, trying to help her fans and making sure they have the right resources and pressing on what's going on and trying to make sure that they're okay, things like that. They had, I think, both roughly around, let's say, 250,000, something around those lines. Like, still a moderate amount of subscribers. You have to take into account that Eugenia has 2.3 million subscribers on her YouTube. Not only that, she's already in a volatile mental state on her own. I don't think that she can balance that many subscribers coming to her for help and take care of all of them. It's not her job to be the therapist, to be the enforcer, to be, you know, the encourager to call the cops and try to help her out and give her the proper her fans, the proper resources for that. It's not, I wouldn't put that job on the creator. Obviously, if it was the situation like, how it is, that it was, in her community, and that's obviously safe, of course that is her job to take care of it. However, that wasn't the case. And people were still coming at her, being like, why didn't you help? I would have helped. I would have given them the proper resources, and I would have given them the proper time and space and whatever the fuck to do all that. When in reality, I don't think she could really responsibly do that, on her own at least. Because obviously you want your audience to be safe, you want them to be happy. But at the point where she is, it gets to be an impossible task. Now, the level where I am, and the level where the other creators were, obviously that's a little bit more manageable. But for Eugenia, like I said, that it's way too much. For Eugenia, that is way too fucking much. Now, a lot of people also claimed for the issue with the moderators, how background checks can happen and things like that. Getting personal information from your mods, I think, is stepping over a boundary that we enjoy having online. Getting your moderator to dox themselves is one hell of a fucking ask. That is something that no one, I think, should do. Getting someone's personal docs for, I don't know, the safety of my community. Who would trust some random YouTuber that they're fans of with their name, address, fucking height, weight, etc.? Some people said, fuck, send them a picture of your driver's license. That has even more information, like your government ID numbers and shit. That's a bit of a stretch. That's definitely a bit too much. I say the big solution for that is mod people who you know that are active in your Discord and you've spoken with them several fucking times. You've gotten to know them. Hell, maybe you're even on a first name basis with them. That's why in my Discord, I only mod people I know, I trust, and I've known for years. It's as simple as that. I'm sorry, but you don't need to go that far. Okay, enough rambling. To wrap this whole thing up. In the past, Eugenia has mostly been defensive of these men. Her unhealthy mindset warped her into thinking that the people who criticize her and the people who tell her to be healthier and the people who want her to be healthier just hate her, and the people who encourage her unhealthy behaviors are the only ones who are nice to her and her friends, I assume. Which ultimately ends up leading her into defending the worst people in the world. It's condoning shit like this that leads to people posting inappropriate memes like this in her Discord server. Now, I'm no saint. My Discord server can get pretty edgy as well, but I know for a fact that most of my audience are of age, so I don't think I have a problem with that. Unlike Eugenia, where most of her audience are young and vulnerable. With such a volatile following like Eugenia's, shit like that is a tad bit fucked in my opinion. Yo, honestly though, if only there was like some type of program or some shit that made calling these guys out 10 times easier. Like, bro, wouldn't that be fucking great? Well, that's oddly convenient. Sure about that, boss? I don't know, that looks really sus. Whoa, what are you doing there, buddy? Calm down, fucking chill. No, that does not look safe. You sure about that? Are you fucking... Yo, wait, whoa, 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 whoa!